Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for this Wednesday, August 10th. You'll notice a different look to some of our briefing products. Our main data line has had outages, so we've had to go to some backup sources. But we will start off with our impact map, and looking for today both a combination of gusty winds over southern areas of Nevada and Utah, but of more concern will be lightning developing across northeast Nevada and into northwestern Utah and far southern Idaho late today and possibly continuing nocturnally after midnight tonight. Most of these storms, although not widespread, will be dry, very limited moisture, and strong downdrafts are possible in the vicinity of these storms, so a big watch out for later today and tonight. Great Basin fire activity, new starts in the red. You can see them across the Wasatch chain going up into parts of eastern Idaho and into parts of northwestern Idaho, and then some across Nevada. A lot of this over Utah and Idaho could be associated to the massive lightning outbreak we've had with holdovers in the past few days. Our lightning data is down. We had no significant lightning in the geographic area yesterday. Looking at observed precipitation, 7 days on the left, you can see how dry it's been across most of our area except for far southern areas. And even the past 30 days, Nevada, barely any precipitation. Same story for northwestern Utah. So it's this area of northeast Nevada and northwestern Utah that will be under the gun for the possibility of dry lightning today. We'll keep an eye on that. Current fuel conditions, ERCs, you can see that here across northwestern Utah, northeast Nevada in the 90th to 96th percentile, which for this time of year, normally they're lower than in June. These are record levels and equally dry up in the parts of central Idaho. So any lightning that does sneak into southern Idaho through here would also encounter critical fuels. Our driest fuels are in the lee of the Sierra. So anything along the Sierra front, whenever we get gusty southwest winds, fuels there definitely primed. Still quite benign across the southern third of Utah and actually pushing up towards the southern edge of the Uintas in a lot of areas, so no major concerns there as of yet. Where we do have lightning concerns in some of our predictive service area zones 12 in northeast Nevada and zones 20 in northwestern Utah, you can see in both cases ERCs in northeastern Nevada up here are right at record levels and actually at new record levels in northwest Utah. So again, fuels definitely are primed. And here we'll look at the satellite imagery, and again we apologize, we've had data outages on our primary network, so this is a backup, a bit of a different and more zoomed in look, but you can see the deeper subtropical moisture associated with the summertime monsoon well off to our south and east over New Mexico and Colorado. Across Utah we have a frontal band pushing on through here, and some more instability now developing across northern Nevada. It is this activity behind this frontal band that we'll be concerned about for the possibility of lightning overspreading northeast Nevada and into parts of western Utah and maybe southern Idaho by late today. Alright, taking a look at our upper level maps. Again, this is our backup system. Our primary data system is down this morning. We can see a trough of low pressure carving out across northwest California, going into the northern Rockies, producing a strong wind flow with increasing winds across Utah and southern Nevada. But also this will add instability and also produce a threat of thunderstorms. Due to the fast-moving nature of these storms, you can see these upper-level wind flow barbs are 30 to 40 miles per hour. We're expecting thunderstorm motion to be fast. That means not much rain in any particular time. So this is this afternoon. If we go to tomorrow afternoon, the trough of low pressure starts to lift out. Still a little breezy, but the main theme, and this is Thursday afternoon, if we go to Friday afternoon, will be the building high pressure that starts building up across California into the Pacific Northwest on late Friday and continues there and actually pushes a bit further to the east over the weekends. This is late Saturday, so we expect a return to much above normal temperatures, although winds fairly light, and given by the direction here, light and out of the north, so perhaps a bit of a different kind of a wind on some of our fires are currently ongoing. As we go into late Sunday, another trough of low pressure brushes into the Pacific Northwest, maybe producing some cooler temperatures and maybe some isolated showers and lightning over parts of Idaho. However, over much of Nevada and Utah, still under high pressure, still hot and dry. And getting into Monday afternoon, the high pressure still kind of holding weak low over California. And then by late Tuesday, with this low here, we could see some gusty winds off the Sierra front, but more importantly, maybe a bit of instability. We'll have to watch for isolated lightning, perhaps moving to parts of western Nevada towards the middle of next week. This will be going into late Wednesday next week. We can see definitely this trough of low pressure deepening, the air becoming more unstable. Could be a good lightning pattern along the California Nevada border. Across Utah, though, high pressure still holding into eastern Idaho and western Wyoming, still staying hot and dry and pushing those ERCs to even more critical levels. And given our lightning concerns across Nevada and Utah today, we will show something a little different, how unstable the atmosphere is. This is something called the high-level totals index. Areas in the yellow are moderately unstable. Areas in the red are unstable enough for thunderstorm activity, and sometimes more isopleths in the red indicate maximum instability. So this morning you can see not too much, a little bit of yellow through here, but watch as we go. This is about 6 in the morning. Watch as we head in towards the afternoon hours. Right through here is early afternoon. You can see these areas in red now developing across east central Nevada and into parts of Utah. And by 6 p.m., you can see that the maximum instability, actually this little isopleth you see through here tracking across parts of northwestern Utah, is where there will be maximum instability for lightning, and maybe a little bit here into southeast Idaho. And this is 6 p.m., but the interesting thing is that this instability actually deepens as we go into 9 o'clock tonight and into midnight, and the focus seems to be starting right along the Nevada-Utah border and progressing across far northern Utah. So areas under the gun, northwest desert areas through here, maybe the Stansbury Range and the Ochres, and maybe going to the northern Wasatch. And this instability continues even into past the midnight hour and even extending towards daybreak into parts of southeastern Idaho and parts of Wyoming. Other factors need to come into play, but this indicates a possibility of nocturnal thunderstorm activity tonight. Also, a different map. This is something we use here in the weather shop. This is from that same model. Shows 24-hour precipitation ending daybreak on Thursday, so basically today through tomorrow morning. And notice these long strips of very light precipitation amounts, a couple of hundredths of an inch. On this model, that's a classic signature of dry lightning, where it's moving fairly fast and not producing any significant rain amounts like you see here in parts of Arizona, but very dry amounts, fast moving. We see a lot of these strips across northern Utah going into parts of Wyoming and just skirting into parts of Idaho and into Nevada. So this whole area is an area that we'll be watching for late today and tonight, again for that fast-moving nocturnal and fairly dry thunderstorm activity. And so looking at some of our weather conditions for later this afternoon, on the left-hand side you see the gusty winds in the orange to purple indicating gusts of 25 to 35 miles per hour. These darker circular shades of purple, closer to 45 miles per hour, are indicative of thunderstorm downdrafts, where the model thinks outflow boundaries will occur. On the right-hand side here is where there'll be isolated showers and thunderstorms in this green shaded area. Those are our primary lightning concerns. That's for this afternoon. Now for tomorrow, we'll notice that the winds here die down a little bit, except for northern Utah, where they probably will get lightning late today and tonight. Notice the arrows coming out of the northwest. Instead of southerly wind flow, it's coming from a different direction. So on any existing incidents, look for a significant wind shift tomorrow from what we've had the last couple of days. On the right-hand side, some lingering lightning. This will likely be early in the day, continuation of that nocturnal thunderstorm activity that should be moving on out, and it'll be more dry than wet. Looking at Friday, we finally start to see ourselves dry out, winds diminishing, still light out of the northwest. Our large-scale 3-day precipitation, just some light amounts here where you see that first shade of green, only significant wetting rains maybe in parts of the far northeast Uintas and of course down into the Arizona Strip. And if we take a look further down the road for our 7-day precipitation total, not much going on for that whole 7-day. We stay wet down there. Most of us stay dry for the next couple of days. So here's a look at our 7-day outlook, and a bit of a different look. We have our typical map for today on the left and our chart with the whole 7 days for all of our zones on the right hand side. You see that this was yesterday's data. This is where we have high risk. Specifically for today in parts of for northern and eastern Nevada, going into a good portion of northwest Utah today, high risk for lightning. We haven't issued high risk for wind. We had it as an impact, but fuels here a bit more marginal as we head further to the south. But on some of our ongoing incidents, of course, Strawberry, which is very wind impacted, those winds could be a typical big concern. A lot of moisture out here across southern areas. Now, as we flip over to Thursday, we'll see that as our map loads in, we start drying things out as weather systems move out, and we go into Friday. We continue drying out Saturday. Some of these greens start turning to yellow as that high pressure that we were talking about builds in. Sunday, you see a good portion of our geographic area, even areas that got wet in Idaho earlier on, have now become critically dry once again. And then into early next week. This is Monday, and this is finally Tuesday. And you can see that except for our far southern areas, much of the geographic area remains primed with critically dry fuels. Taking a look further down the road, our 8 to 14-day outlook, which takes us from August 17th to the 23rd, we are seeing above normal temperatures across a good portion of the Great Basin, especially Nevada, and looking at precipitation, a below normal stretch. So continue to dry things out. Monsoonal thunderstorm activity, monsoonal moisture stays well to the south and east, and this time of year, as we get into late August, if it is not coming through here, sometimes that signals more of a drying trend for some of our southern areas. We'll wait and see if that indeed happens. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day. We apologize for the different format today. It was due to a data outage, and hopefully we'll have our system back up with our typical maps for tomorrow. Have a great day.